And here we are, cooking up some grub. I'm gonna start off. We've got squash and zucchini, mushrooms, onions. Very simple, very simple. Onions will take the longest to cook, and they will absorb quite a bit more heat than the other ones as well, typically. So just finish off the rest of this oil here. More than I really need for this first step. The burner's already on. Warmer anyway. This is electric, sad but true. They don't say, and now you're cooking with gas for nothing. So, spend a second and let that warm up. So my previous couple videos, I julienne some yellow onion, chopped up some mushroom, as well as our squash and zucchini. Had this new steel Dutch oven. Only used it once, but seems to do okay. Also, I think today I'm gonna do a little mix. Parsley, some thyme, which got this time 1 1/2 ounce thing of thyme from Ollie's for just under $1. Just under $1 here for 1 1/2 ounces of basil as well from Ollie's. Ollie's is a fantastic place. So I'm gonna mix a couple things up together like that with some garlic, some pepper, and some garlic salt that I mix together myself, because I don't like a lot of salt. Where'd the other ones go? Here we go. But another good place, especially if you don't feel comfortable mixing your own stuff up, we got 1 1/4 ounce of Italian seasoning and 2 1/2 ounces of salt-free seasoning that I get from the Dollar Tree. And I know for a fact that that's going to be $1 where you live as well, if you have a Dollar Tree. So those are my 2 favorite places to shop for herbs and spices. They are, you know, significantly less expensive than even just the run-of-the-mill grocery here. You know, not even top of the line. So thought this was gonna get hotter sooner, but seems like it wants to take its time. Also have minced garlic, 48 ounce. 3 pounds from Costco for $5, $5 or $6. Fantastic deal there as well. So if you can save money, you may be able to hear that got the onions in. Nice little sizzle going. Yeah, too much oil to start out with, but the mushrooms don't have any problem with that. As the onion cooks down and releases quite a bit of moisture, mushroom will cook down, but it will accept a fair amount of moisture. I don't have any ground pepper, just a little manual mill here, so go ahead and get started with this. Gonna need quite a bit of it. If you all saw that 2-gallon, almost full 2-gallon container of squash. Just a minute or two more on the onions. It'd be time to add our mushrooms. Cook them down a bit, and then we'll pile our squash in. And we'll want to turn our squash and just try to incorporate as much of that flavor as we can. At that point, then I'll probably do the garlic with the mushroom actually, but before or right after the squash and zucchini, that's when I would add your herbs. Give it another good turn. Put a little salt here too. Just garlic salt. Looking pretty good, pretty well cooked down. A few heaps of garlic in there. I do like garlic, and I have a lot of food to cook too, so try to warm up. Feels like I need to turn this heat up. Said I've only cooked in this pan once, and it was bacon, and it was, you know, just low and slow. So I'm not quite used to it yet. As you can maybe tell, I have quite a bit more sizzle going basically the entire time here. So we want to get this good and warm and up to temperature so that when we add all that additional weight at the lower temperature in the mushrooms, it doesn't take too long and just sit there and soak up a bunch of moisture and not cook. We want it to be able to get up to temp with the mushrooms in there as fast as we can. So there we go. Mix it around. Muck in a good coating of this warm oil. I was getting that garlic touching everybody's. I don't want it to get actually too hot, so I'm back the heat off just a little bit. Seems like it has a good sizzle still. I don't want it to scorch, if we can help it at all. So we'll give this a few minutes. Should take maybe 5 minutes. Cook the mushrooms down a bit. We don't need them all the way down. Do with the black pepper again. Because it's time consuming. Yeah, and give it a little stir, and you see sizzling's already almost gone. And I have the burner almost all the way up. I don't want it to scorch, but I need this up to temperature before I add all that additional weight, which does have a boatload of moisture in it, in that squash and zucchini. They are definitely moisture heavy. And I know it's going to be difficult to see this with all the steam, but the mushrooms are not, they're maybe half cooked, but you can hear that the temperature is getting up there. So I need to hurry up and add these the squash and zucchini here and get the GoPro back on its other mount. And I know that you can't really see anything right now, but the onions and mushrooms are decently cooked. It's time to add this absolute boatload of squash and zucchini. Looks like I'm not going to do all of it at once. Try to get this incorporated a little bit. Actually, it looks like I'm not even going to cook all of it right now, I don't think. So I have a good ratio of onion and mushroom with the squash and zucchini. Add a little bit more. I have some that I can cook without mushrooms and onions. They're still good with herbs and spices and such, and garlic and all that jazz. You know, if you caught, I threw a little piece on the floor even. Pour one out for your homies, you know. Right. Now comes time for flavor. Do some parsley. A little more garlic salt. Thyme. This one's not open. Thought I had one that was open. Maybe not. Sorry for the interruption here. Nice bit. You know what they say, you can't have too much time. Scotia basil. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. Even with all this mass in it, the additional mass on the bottom of my new pot here definitely did help get it up to temperature faster without scorching anything. I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit and just give it maybe another couple minutes. I mean, we already see, I can get this. We already see a decent amount of flexibility there in our squash. I don't want to cook it to mush if I can help it, because there's going to be quite a bit of residual heat left in this pan. Arguably enough right now even to finish cooking everything to my liking anyway, but just another minute, kill the heat, let it soak in all that residual heat. And then it'll be time to portion it out, let it cool before we put it in the fridge. You don't want to ruin everything in your fridge by making your fridge too hot. So, and then we'll have a good amount of side, you know, decently healthy side to eat throughout the week with. And here we have the second little batch. And I just know who I am and how I am, and if I don't cook it tonight, it might just sit in the fridge so it's not any good anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook it tonight. And just put it in a different pan, or pot rather. Pyrex, really. Put it in a different container for storage and just eat it separately without the onion and mushroom. Maybe I'd give it to my neighbor or my parents or something, you know? But I use the same pan, and I go over it with a silicone spatula to get all the goodness that we already paid for on the side of the pan. Little sizzle already. Pan's retained heat. No big deal. Put this in there. More pepper, everybody's favorite, right? Everyone's favorite time of the cooking video, where I grind some pepper noisily in everybody's face. So, it's what you call a crowd pleaser. Add some garlic salt. I really don't need much here. I'll do a little bit. Use the other end where it barely comes out. Parsley. Touch of thyme. Really don't want much. Have some on the pan that's already cooked. And a whiff of basil. And I would like more garlic. That's who I am. Coat everything nicely, and again, quite a bit of moisture content to squash, so you can hear that the temperature is pretty high. But if you saw my caramelized onions video, then you know that all that moisture will boil off and help regulate the temperature of it, so you don't have to worry too much about this scorching until, you know, a decent ways into it. That's another reason why I really like to slice it long ways, longitudinally, and then put those long strips on the grill. Grilled squash and zucchini, fantastic. Basically, you can use the same ingredients we've done here today, except slice it differently, mix it in a mixing bowl with your olive oil or whatever oil that you want to use, and your herbs and garlic and such, and then lay them out on the grill. Might take a little practice not to lose too many down the slats of the grill, but little char on it is really tasty. Likewise with asparagus. So, and you all saw me cook the last batch, or at least saw part of it anyway. I know there was quite a bit of steam rolling in the camera's face, but I won't bore you with the rest of this. I just wanted to show how I've reused the same pan and try to get all those herbs that we already had on the side of the pan and whatever oil might be present as well, to just conserve what we use, save a little money, and doesn't really take much time because half the work's already done and everything was sliced as well. So hopefully this helps somebody. If you have any questions, comments, requests to see how to cook something else at home, please let me know and we'll get back with you. Take care.